Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I'm a life coach. If you want services, my contact information is in the description box below. So today I wanted to talk about energy. Tesla said that if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, we have to think in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Because in today's world, we just look at matter, right? We judge based on the physical, on the material world. If you're successful, you have a lot of money. If you have a lot of surgery, you're considered beautiful. If you're like super thin, you can be a model. It's all physical. Absolutely none of it is energetical. We've never looked at a model and be like, how's her energy? Does she have wonderful energy? Nobody cares. 100% on the outside. And the same thing with buildings. When we build buildings, we don't really necessarily do it for functionality. We do it because we want it to be the tallest. We want it to be the most technology advanced, it has to be the best all the time. It's never energetic. Like, is it? What about the feng shui? We don't think about that. So it's never in terms of energy. It's always in terms of physical. So we gotta change that. So this is a wonderful topic to start with. So what is energy? Okay, we first have to understand from the basics. We are like light bulbs. We create our own energy, right? We take it from the ground, we take it from the ether, we transmute it, we pump it out. So look at us like flowers, electronic flowers, like light bulb flowers. Light bulb in the shape of a flower, right? So our job is to output our essence, our signature, our energetic signature. And to each person, that's different, right? Each flower gives its own essence. There's no competition, right? And they operate on their own timing, right? So the flowers bloom whenever they want to bloom. Some of them bloom in spring, some of them bloom later in the year, some of them bloom when they're ready to bloom, right? So I cannot emphasize enough how time is so important to consider when you calculate, because we don't calculate time. We just see it as a consequence. But if you calculate time, you're actually adding a dimension. You're adding a dimension to what you can see, right? So we're energetic flowers pumping our essence through time. So this is important. Really important to compare, because we each have our own timing. Like, I took 2 weeks off and I really needed it. I enjoyed it only because of timing, right? I didn't need a break. I don't need a break from doing what I'm doing because it comes out naturally to me. But I needed a break because I had to do backyard work. I did everything. So to me, energetically, that was a priority, right? Because in my opinion, January makes no sense for New Year. January makes absolutely no sense to start a project. It makes no sense to, change yourself, because the next day it's still dark and cold. It makes no sense. But now I feel the new year. Energetically, it's so powerful. I feel it. It's stronger than me. So I had to do something about it energetically, right? I had to close the loop, right? I can't leave the stuff like that. So I took care of everything and I energetically closed the loop, which means I have nothing left to do in the yard, or nothing left to do in the house, not even renovation. Because for 10 years, 11 years now, I always had to do something in the house. It's a vintage house, so there's always work to do. For now, I have nothing to do now. So it took me 11 years to close that energetic loop, right? So if you look at it energetically, that's what it is. It's not me fixing the house. It's me closing a project. So now I can just chill. And now when there's a leaf that falls, I can go pick it up. I'm at the perfect, there's no debt, and, I don't owe anything, and there's no, there is revenue with time, it's giving me fruits, but there's no more labor. for the fruits. So I used to do the same thing when I was in school. As soon as I would come home, I would do my homework. Why? Because I wanted to close the loop. I didn't want that voice saying, you have your homework, you have your homework, I didn't enjoy doing the homework as soon as I would come home. Oh, it's not the first thing I wanted to do. But I would do it because energetically, I didn't want it to bother me. It's like when you have to do your taxes, every year. I just do it so I can get rid of it. I don't want to hear, you got to do your taxes, you got to do your taxes, right? Because it's an open loop. You have to do it and you're putting it in the back. So it's constantly in a loop in the back, right? So that's energy that's draining. So again, we're outputting our essence on our own timing. So I've been on other people's schedule my entire life. So I had to really, really tone it down and pretty much like almost rewind, right? So I can stop time, right? So in my own life, I stopped time so I can stop all the noise, disconnect from everything. And only when you stop the car can you start it over towards a new direction, right? Because if not, you have to pivot. If not, you have to pivot the car, right? Keep taking another route, keep taking another route. But if you want to do like 100% U-turn, you got to stop the car. You can't do a U-turn while you're running. So you got to stop the car, full stop, right? You stop the energetic momentum of the car. Then you turn the wheel maximum, right? To the point where you can't turn it anymore. It locks, right? And then you press on the gas. Only when you have the right direction. So it's the same thing with humans, right? If you're always like, oh, fear of missing out. Oh, I'm going to hop on the next trend. Oh, I want these, communities to think I'm cool. Oh, I want my parents to agree with me. I want my neighbors to love me. It's your energy is scattered because you're not on your own timing. You're not on your own pulse. You're on everyone else's terms, everyone else's pulse, right? So energetically, it's really important to be on your own pulse. So important. And for that, you got to disconnect. And you can. Look, I'm downtown LA and I disconnected. So anyone can disconnect, and even in the comfort of your own home, if you don't have distractions. So you must disconnect to find your own rhythm. Then once you find your rhythm, you pump your essence. So again, the method of least resistance, and you pump what makes you happy. This is different for a lot of people. A lot of people are in different stages in their life. A lot of people want different things. A lot of people are in different environments, right? They're on different frequencies. So it has to be what gives you energy. And this is different for a lot of people, okay? I found out that I am an INTF. An INTJ, introverted, intuitive, thinking, judging, is a strategic, analytical, architect personality type. Key characters and strength. It's exactly me. I think I've said that correctly. Apparently only 2% of the population is like that. That explains a lot. This is why I don't see myself in everybody. I relate to everybody, but I don't see myself in everybody. That's like, I never go to somebody and be like, I wish I had their life. I wish I had their career. I wish I was on their path, That has never happened to me. And that explains, because there's only 2% of us. So this is why, to me, it's really important to be on my own rhythm. Absolutely nobody in this world is on my rhythm. So it's, to me, again, rhythm and light, right? If you fast forward the rhythm, your output, you can't be that good in the output. Like I used to love multitasking. I thought I can do a million things at once, right? And I was able to. But when you do a million things at once, you're kind of half-assing them all, But if you do one thing and you focus on one thing, you become an expert at it. So it's all about focus, energy, and output, right? If playing with pigeons gives you a strong output, you go play with pigeons. You have no reason to explain anything to anybody. I did the error of telling people I like to feed cats and, stray cats in parks, and I got ridiculed, but it's not even, it gives me so much energy. It gives me so much energy. Where do you think I find all my, I'm so productive, but yet I have so much energy because I do the things that I love and I don't care what people say. I do it, regardless of if they want me to do it or not. It's not illegal. So again, right, you have energy you put out and you charge yourself. And again, you're like a delicate flower. So if you entangle yourself with 10 people, imagine giving a flower and passing it around like 10 people. That flower at the end is going to be damaged. We're like antennas. We shouldn't get entangled with so many people all the time, you know? But again, we're all on different paths and we're all learning to be. When a plant is growing, it's growing straight up towards the sun. That's its natural course. Unfortunately, an entity has come and blocked the sun, right? So now we're growing this way. Now it's blocking this way. Now we're growing this way. Now it's blocking this way. Now we're growing this way. So now the branch is like this. It's still going up though, but it was so much difficulty. This is why when people are 50, they look 60. When people are 30, they look 50, right? Because the branch is going all over the place. And it's the distractions, it's the entanglements. But if you're an antenna that's constantly receiving, right? You're constantly in the realm of infinite possibilities, right? People are like, oh, well, if I don't marry this person, I'm not going to get another one. If I'm not best friend with this person, if I don't get that job, I'm not going to get another one. What people don't understand is if you don't get this person, you're going back to the realm of infinite possibility. You're going back to infinity, right? You're leaving scarcity. If you think that's the only person you can get and therefore you're going to hold on to it, that's scarcity. You should let that go and go back to the realm of infinite possibilities, right? If you go to a job and you're like, oh, I really, really want this job, and then you don't get it, right? That's okay. Because you left that matter, physical matter, and you went back to the energy of infinite possibility, right? So when you're single, when you're all alone, you're not alone. You're in the realm of infinite. You just haven't made a concrete decision. You haven't made a decision of making a family. You haven't made a decision to go, let's say, after a certain passion. But the realm of infinite possibility is still there. When you're sure, you take an action and then you make it happen, right? So the energy ball has to be within you. If you count on other people to give you that ball or to charge that ball for you, you're going to learn that lesson eventually. The ball has to come within. Realm of infinite possibility. And then when you're like 1,000% sure, I can't live without this person. I don't want to live without this person. Then you ask to marry, you know? So, one thing I've learned is everyone has to learn their own lesson. Why? Because there's momentum, okay? There's momentum. Me, Sarah in the future, 44-year-old Sarah, can go back to the 24-year-old Sarah on her wedding day and be like, run. Take the first plane out and run now. Trust me, the 24-year-old Sarah wouldn't have done it. Even if the 24-year-old Sarah knows that the future Sarah is right, she wouldn't have done it. Why? Because there was a momentum behind her. Hey, listen, 500 people coming at the guests, as guests, they had already, a bunch had already flown in. We had already put the deposit on the event, the venue. I had already the dresses. I remember walking down the aisle telling myself, if this doesn't work out, I'll divorce. I remember telling this to myself, huge red light on, red flag, huge red light and red flag. But to me, it wasn't a red flag because too much had happened. I had an energetic push from the environment, energetic push from the culture, energetic push from like the physical world. Like, listen, I was too far into it. I had to continue. I couldn't just run off. I wasn't developed enough to just run off because I wouldn't have been able to deal with the consequences of what have you done? You fooled everybody and you escaped, like I couldn't have been like, oh, I changed my mind. I realized how deep I was in. No, there's no deep. You're too into deep, right? The future Sarah couldn't have said anything to the 24-year-old Sarah for the 24-year-old Sarah not to go ahead with it. It was impossible. The momentum, it's like, it's a future momentum, right? You're coming from the future to the past, right? So the momentum's like this. It's telling you not to go with it. Now, so it's an easy momentum. But the other momentum, it's coming from the past towards the future. That momentum, you cannot stop it just by saying, don't go with it, The only way I could have stopped it is if I would have made the 24-year-old Sarah go through the 4-year of divorce. Shown her the pain of the 4-year battle divorce because of this mistake. That's the only way that Sarah would have run out, if she would have felt that pain. But she didn't. She was way over in her head, and she would have been like, nah, I can get a divorce if this doesn't work out. So you see, there's no way. Because it's energy. It's not just me telling somebody, it's the momentum is pushing. Listen, when the entire environment, when you've promised the entire environment because you've sold your soul for money, for fame, for whatever, right? You've sold your soul. You can't just suddenly wake up and be like, I changed my mind. You can't, because you owe too many people too much. You've said too much. You've done too much. You've sacrificed too much. So that momentum will never, ever allow you to be like, you know what? I gotta run away from this wedding, Those you see in movies. But in real life, a woman would never have the heart. I don't know. I would never have the heart to do that, to organize so much and the day before run out of there. Even if I know I'm wrong, I shouldn't get married. Even if I know, let's say the person wants to kill me or whatever. You're too much into it. You have to make the decision before. This is why when you're on the wrong path, the sooner you make the U-turn, the better it is for you. It's like the branch, right? You want to grow this way for a very long time before you start going up. You sure can. But the arm's going to get heavy. You're going to be worn out, The best is to grow straight up. But for that, no distraction. And then when you do leave the realm of infinite possibility, you leave it for something concrete. Not something like, fear of missing out. Let me give it a try, right? It has to be because you're sure. To me, I make decisions when I'm sure, when I feel right about it. Right? That's why I never regret. When it doesn't work out, I don't regret because I felt right about it. I made the decision because I felt right about it. So it took me this way. But I always make decisions that I feel right about. That's why I'm constantly going like this. I did yard work. That's why I'm dirty. So constantly like this, right? Because I don't let anything distract me. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that this is only your life. This is only your light. Just like a flower, you can give out your essence, but nobody should pluck you out of your environment, You should be pumping just like a flower. So energy also is important how you direct it, okay? I'm not religious at all. I don't follow religion. And like I said, I've been multiple different religion out there, and I don't agree with any of them. But I agree in purity, okay? The divine laws, the laws of physics. You don't hurt others, you don't kill others, you don't take advantage, you don't lie, you don't cheat, If you apply these laws to your energy and you constantly make the right decision, not the decision that only benefits you, the right decision, which means the decision that benefits your environment, you can't just benefit me, but I'm destroying the environment, right? It has to benefit everybody, not equally, but it has to benefit everybody. So then you take those decisions, always the proper, pure decision. You don't hurt anybody. And I'm promising you, you're going to grow so fast, high up. It's all energy. You're like lightning. You're like a tree branch. You decide where you want that lightning to go, right? But it has to come from you, not from the environment, not from programming, not from mainstream, right? Your own pulse. So I hope this explains energy a little bit more to the world of matter. Thank you very much, and let's see you on the next video. Ciao.